And so today, courtesy of my wife, my oldest son, and some thrift store finding, we have this. It is the Transformers Unicron Trilogy Cybertron Wing Saber. Wing Saber, yeah, I know he's not quite complete, but he's definitely complete enough for us to have him be the focus this time around in the latest GotBot True review. Hey one, hey all, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, your most humble of hosts, Dennis Moulton, aka GotBot. As always, please like, comment, share, of course subscribe, and while you are at it, light 'em up, baby. Hit the notification bell, please. It helps me out a ton. It lets you know when content of all sorts goes up here on the channel. Check out Machinery of Man, The Everything Factor, all the groups that I'm either a mod or an admin for, as well as all of my social media links. All of that's in the description down below, also in the description down below. And if you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link, check us out on Patreon, see what we have to offer to you through Spring, or of course hit the join button at any given time and become a channel member. And this is, as I said, Cybertron Wing Saber. Not Wing Saver, though I've seen some people name him that. Not Wind Saber, though I've seen that too. Not Cybertron Star Saber, though I've seen that too. And funny enough, for some reason, his name is often confused with Wind Blade, and she becomes Wind Saber. And sometimes I see her as Wing Blade, W-I-N-G. It's really weird with those two names. But this guy is Wing, W-I-N-G, and Saber, S-A-B. I'm not sure if it's E-R or R-E, to be honest with you. Probably E-R. And he is really neat. Now, I know I don't have the wing flaps that come in here. I know I don't have the little sword pieces down here. And as much as I would like to have them, I'm very lucky that everything else seems to be intact. No instructions, no boxes. This was a thrift store find. But for $5 Canadian, kind of hard to go wrong. Will he live up to the $5 hype? Let's find out together when we head over to the table and take a closer look at this guy. And yes, by way of some thrifting, we're going back to Transformers Cybertron 2006 with Ultra Class Wing Saber. No box, no instructions. Sadly, no wingtips, the ones that fold up underneath that have like, oh my goodness, what would be included with that? The blasters, I'm calling them blasters. I don't really know what else to call them. The missiles, I suppose, as well as the swords that would belong back here on the wing as the like wing flaps. There's like swords that go back there. I think you can get 3D printed ones of that, like little missile pods and stuff under here. But even with those things missing, we can still certainly assess this guy. It'd be nice if we had that wing flap. I've seen that there's like a possible 3D file that you can get that would, you know, print it and be able to go in there. Same with the sword. I don't know. I'd love to have the extra bits, but luckily everything that requires him to be functional is here, and it was all found for $5 Canadian. $5 Canadian. I mean, even with the missing bits, as long as everything was intact, how could I argue with it, honestly? It's definitely worth $5, even if incomplete. But we'll kind of talk about that as we go. So, he's a dandy plane, rolls pretty fine for the most part, though, admittedly, the chest is down a bit. I might not have that positioned exactly correctly. I freely admit that because, again, keep in mind that I don't have any instructions for this. I don't have his Cyber Planet key, but I got a Cyber Planet key. It's Vector Primes, actually. So we'll still be able to kind of see that stuff. Great, robust plane. Love the look of this thing. Really, really, really impressive. I gotta say, really, really impressive. Man, Ultra Class was so great. Big, robust. Man, oh man. So, that's kind of it really for the plane mode. I will show this now, even though, I don't know, you know, I guess you can use the Cyber Planet key to like open up the nose cone. Really, I find this is, I think, more intended for when he connects with Optimus Prime. So, I mean, you know, it is what it is, but I figured I'd show it off because we had it here, right? Come on. That's the only thing with some of these gimmicks is sometimes they don't want to stay back. There's also like a sound gimmick, which is cool. I think that's the only sound. Yeah, I think that's the only sound. Though I could be wrong about that. But yeah, the two blades are missing, the missile launchers, the missiles are missing, and the cyber key. So like that's unfortunate, but not a big deal. I think the plane, by the way, is also based on a real plane. I think it's based on an A-10 Thunderbolt, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, I think that might be it kind of for the plane. Let's do the transformation. I'm hoping I'm doing this right. Again, no instructions, remember. So where do we begin? I guess I'll start with the nose cone, and that comes back on this gray armature and kind of folds up. Then the head can come folded out. The back wings detach because they're going to be the legs, and we can really kind of start to bring those down now and fold up the tail section, I suppose. Straighten out the legs just to get them down here, sort of edge the way on. Oh, listen to those clicky ratchets. Like that. Then the whole waist at this point can turn around. Not everybody does that. Some people leave the wings on the inside of the foot because they don't turn the waist. That's up to you. I prefer the wings on the outside of the foot, I think. I also like to turn, I don't know if you have to do this or not, but I like to turn the hips because I want the screw hole on the back, and then I turn the leg around. That's just me. The kneecap moves down, and then the foot flips up. Same on the other side over here. We turn the, maybe I gotta turn it the other way. Turn the hip to get that, yeah, to get that screw hole on the back. The kneecap is on a little armature, so it comes down over, and flip up a foot, and now the legs can go turn that way. Okay, I'm going to stand our guy up, reposition the camera to make sure he's still in frame, and then we'll just finish his arms, which is pretty simple. And we open this out, and we should be able to, if it wasn't done already, we should be able to pull back on a little armature in here, not an armature, a little slider in here that pulls a couple of these back to kind of give him fingers, and that's sort of his hand. Same over here, if it wasn't already pushed back, push it back. And because I don't have these to flip in, because normally they'd be flipped in and like connect on right here, other than that, boom, in the end here we have Wing Saber in his alt mode. Love the look of the guy. I mean, I found some animation stills for him, and that's kind of what I'm going by. I basically see this as pretty correct and accurate from what I could find. I'm going to say 9 for sure, maybe a 10. But I'm going to say 9 just to be conservative because I might be missing details. I admit that, where this isn't my era, where Unicron Trilogy isn't my era. But from what I've seen, he looks pretty darn close. You would definitely know it's Wing Saber. So I'm going to say 9. In terms of the transformation, nice big ratchets, chunky pieces move around. Yeah, orienting the hips and the legs, that's a little fiddly, but like, everything is so clicky. You're not going to break nothing. Everything feels so nice and robust and wonderful and glorious. I'm going to say the transformation is a 10. The guy's a 9.5 so far. Let's do the articulation. By the way, not for nothing, it's worth noting that if you leave the legs in plane mode and the head back, you can, and the arms folded up for that. Well, actually, the arms would go, I'll show the arms, I guess, because why not? The arms would go up over like this, and then flip back this way. If you did that with the arms, and you had this kind of up over, and you had the legs in plane mode, the whole chest pulls out, and this guy can become like a backpack for like the Saber wing mode or whatever it is for Optimus Prime. I didn't show it here because I don't have Optimus right here to put him on, so not much point in showing it, but even that's easy to get to. So yes, a 9.5. Let's do the articulation. We have a head that goes left and right. I guess doesn't really have, like, I guess it can look up, but that's really for transformation. We do have a waist on the guy, so that's wonderful. We do have clicky ratchet hips out to the side, ratchets forward, ratchet, I mean back, but there's a lot of junk back there, so you're not getting much back. Thigh swivel, ratcheted knee to 90 degrees. I mean toe back, and I guess not really forward, like a little toe wiggle, no ankle tilt. And you'll notice I didn't do the arms, because I think the arms are kind of genius, because they're built onto the wing. They go all the way out. We have a bicep swivel. We have a double elbow, and we even have a reverse elbow if you want that. And I was like, okay, that's all good and grand and cool, but what if I wanted to lift up his arms? I mean, because of that transformation hinge, he can lift his arms way up over his head. And like, if you are like, oh, I want his arm a little across his body, or, you know, he wants to pick his nose. Like, you can do all of that. I'm shocked by how good the articulation actually is. Especially with the big backpack, you'd figure that the articulation would be compromised. You would also figure that he would fall back, and he doesn't. The balance is great. I think because of all of the wonderful ratchets. He was a 9.5. The transformation, or the articulation, is really, really splendid. Again, that's about a 9.5. I'm going to say overall Wing Saber, even with the missing bits, is fantastic. 19 years later, he is still at least a 9.5, if not a 10. Wonderful Transformer, even if it's not from my beloved G1. And here we are, and here he is. And you know what? Even with the couple of pieces missing, this guy's still glorious. He's solid, chunky, hefty. All of the parts that move have ratchets, and they're all big, chunky pieces that move. The plastic feels robust, thick, solid. I mean, you're not gonna break anything, you know? I've heard that you can 3D print some of the like pieces that fold in, and the little missile pod, and the sword piece back here. I don't have a 3D printer, I don't know anything about it. To me, it's still magic and like voodoo and that sort of stuff. But for those that can do it, if you are lucky enough to find one mostly intact and can do that, cool. Granted, mine doesn't have a Cyber Planet key, but because I have the Vector Prime Cyber Planet key, I could still show that that stuff works. The lights and sound still work. The articulation is quite excellent, especially for the time. Perfect? No. A couple of little, I guess, sign of the times, right? Like no ankle tilt, for example. But like, man, what is done right here is done so very well. Hard to argue with this guy for $5, especially when you consider that besides for being a great plane and a great bot, he can also go attached to a certain Optimus Prime, and maybe we'll see that another time. But for now, I think this guy's pretty fantastic. Definitely worth the $5. I don't know what his original MSRP was by you know, regular retail sales, but I gotta believe whatever it was, for the time, for what you get, it was probably pretty grand. Let me know what you think about Cybertron Wing Saber. Is he, you know, is he one you like, one you don't know? Because I didn't really know the guy that much, to be honest with you, where I'm not a Unicron Trilogy guy, but man, really impressed. Even the molded in this Autobot logo, like molded in, and then it's like it's chromy. I don't know if it's chrome or metallic, but like, when do you get that anymore? Anyway, let me know what you think about Wing Saber. I appreciate you guys coming by, giving me some of your extremely valuable time. I do know how important it is to you. If you are in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link. Check us out on Patreon. See what we have to offer to you through spring, or of course hit the join button at any given time and become a channel member. While you are at it, hit the subscribe button, stick around, have some fun with us here on the channel. And don't forget, not for a moment, not for a second, that you right there, you do make a difference in the world. And I look forward to the next time that you and I get together to have another visit, either in the live streams on Thursday nights at the stop motion premieres, or the old-fashioned way right here inside the videos.